Performance Homebrew coming at you with a beer review from the deck. It's actually late. You wouldn't know with how bright it is. It's late in the day. We've been working in the yard and whatnot, and it's time for a break. And I got a great beer that came to me from Joe Belcher. That's Pats Fan 1284. Joe sent me this. That's right. This one's from Dogfish Head, and it is the Rosabi. It's an Imperial Pale Ale, but it's a very unique one. This is a collaboration with Juliana Barwick. She's a musician. She does some interesting layering of music with choirs. And what they did was bring in some unique ingredients. So an Imperial Pale Ale is still quite unique. There's not a lot of them, but this one is made with a combination of Munich and caramel malts along with red rice from the state of Louisiana, her home state, to give it like a rosé color. So that's the rose part of it. Abi, that comes from wasabi. This is one of her go-to ingredients. She likes wasabi. So this has the red rice and wasabi in it. It should be a really interesting beer, and it sounds fantastic to me. So let's get this one cracked open and give it a try. By the way, this was made as a celebration after an 18-month expansion at Dogfish Head, so congratulations to Dogfish Head on their expansion being completed. All right, let's take a look at this. Beautiful beer. Check that out. Did you see all the bubbles rising? I hope you did. Leaves a nice over a finger head on there, finger and a half head, and the colors as promised. I think it's almost a little bit copper, at least from my side. I've got like an amber to copper in color. It does have some of those red hues though, definitely, and I'm sure that you can see that. It's a pretty beer. Let's get the nose. Okay, wow. Okay, first of all, I've had Imperial Pale Ales. This has that scent because there's a lot of sweetness, and it's a light sweetness, but I get a good bit of light, like a light caramel, if you will. Definitely that Munich and caramel malts are coming through on this, but there's just a lot of two-row in there that's just at a higher ABV, and you can smell it. And it's like an earthy scent. I get a lot of hops, by the way. I do. I get some citrus hops, and I get some other scents on those hops, but that earthiness that's coming through with the wasabi, kind of a radish kind of a scent, that's there too. So it's a really interesting scent. Yeah, I gave it a swirl, and then that kind of radish wasabi aroma kind of comes up in through the caramel aromas, and it's really, actually, I think it's quite inviting. I think it's a very unique scent, but I do get some nice citrus. I get, I would say, a little bit of like some grapefruit on that is kind of what I'm picking up, but some other citrus as well. So we're gonna just dive in. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. Oh, now it changes on the backside. The front is like killer good. And it does kind of dry out going in. It doesn't super dry, but it semi-dries out. And the taste changes and kind of washes out. Up front, you get the most wonderful, sweet backbone type flavors, kind of like you're drinking an Imperial IPA. Just a beautiful, beautiful sweetness. And you're getting those hops. And so you're getting a little bit of herbal hops in there. And you're getting some nice, a little bit, the citrus is not like a strong grapefruit or anything, but you're getting kind of a mix of citrus coming through on there. Again, really wonderful. Even a hint of tropical, I dare say. Kind of like a guava almost. And really, mango too. I got a hint of mango. But really nice sweet flavors on the front side. In the middle, it kind of washes out. You still get some of the hops, but you get that nice caramel. You get that really good Imperial Pale Ale if you've had one. And it's a really good one, actually. It's a really good taste on there. Then in the back, it's interesting. You get a flush back a little bit for a moment of the hops, and then it kind of just waters out. I mean, literally, it's like you got a light flush of water in there, just kind of washes all that back. And then finally, you're left with just kind of a dryness on the back. Then it dries out, and you get a little bit of hops, and you get a little bit of that earthiness, kind of that radish flavor. that process is really interesting from the front to back, going through. But I gotta tell you, man, the front and the middle, that sweetness and those flavors are so good. I'm rather enjoying this. I'm gonna take a little bit of time and I'll come back with some ratings. One of the best parts about this beer is I've got a big giant bottle of it all to myself. Oh, I love that. Actually, the taste of this tastes very much like the 90-minute IPA. Oh, definitely so. But you know, I wouldn't blame them. I mean, that is such a popular beer and one that I personally love, so it's no shock that I'm really enjoying this beer. The carbonation on this is beautiful. I mean, I turn it to the sides and I'm still seeing the carbonation come up. Give it a swirl. You know, some head kind of builds. You get some nice legs and lacing on the glass. It's a pretty beer. It's not as rosé as they had said, but it still has a little bit of that color, which is really nice. I think they could have used a little more of that red rice from Louisiana. The wasabi's there. It's light. Anyone that's afraid of heat, for me personally, it's not a problem at all. It's almost like it just added some bittering along with the hops, quite frankly, because I'm not getting heat. I'm getting some earthiness, just a little bit of that vegetable taste, and it's very light. As far as Imperial Pale Ales go, this is really good. I'm not going to knock this much. The wasabi, for me, you could take it or leave it. I don't think it does a lot for the beer. I think that it was a collaboration and a celebration to do something fun and unique. And Dogfish Head is really good about doing that. I could have done without it, but then it might have just been a 90-minute IPA. And this is in the 90s for me. I'm giving it a 92. Overall, you know, it's a pretty beer. It's got good lacing. It has some nice flavors. You know, if anything, the wasabi is what takes away from it. You know, I think this is a fantastic beer overall. It's very close to an Imperial IPA. I'm going to give it an 89. This is a fun beer. Thank you, Joe. I'm loving this. I think this is a worthwhile beer. I think it's worth trying. And if you like 90-minute IPA, boy, I think you'd be hard-pressed to not like this beer. This is Kevin from Clements Homebrew saying life is too short to drink cheap beer, and I will see you in the next beer review.